COP30, Climate Change is a National Security Threat, the Silent Crisis. What if I told you that climate change is no longer just an environmental issue, but a national security crisis threatening global stability? For years, we've focused on rising temperatures, melting ice caps, and extreme weather events. But world leaders at COP30 are facing a much darker reality. Climate change is now a direct driver of conflict, economic collapse, and geopolitical instability. Nations are no longer just debating carbon emissions. They are scrambling to prepare for a future where climate-driven disasters could fuel wars, collapse economies, and displace millions. The warning signs are already here. Across the world, droughts are wiping out food supplies, forcing communities into desperate struggles for survival. In the Middle East and Africa, water scarcity is intensifying conflicts, pushing fragile governments closer to collapse. Meanwhile, rising sea levels threaten to displace millions, creating mass migration crises that will test the limits of national borders and humanitarian aid systems. The Arctic is melting at an alarming rate, opening up new geopolitical tensions between major powers like the United States, Russia, and China as they compete for newly accessible resources. And as climate disasters become more frequent, entire industries face economic collapse, triggering recessions that could cripple even the most powerful economies. But what's truly alarming is that military and intelligence agencies around the world now see climate change as one of the greatest security threats of our time. The Pentagon, NATO, and global intelligence networks have issued reports warning that climate-driven disasters will fuel terrorism, trigger more civil wars, and increase global instability. Imagine a future where food and water shortages push nations into resource wars, where climate refugees overwhelm borders, and where economies collapse under the pressure of never-ending disasters. This isn't science fiction. It's the reality we're heading toward if real action isn't taken. At COP30, world leaders are being urged to move beyond vague climate pledges and into serious national security planning. Countries are now integrating climate resilience into their defense strategies, foreign policies, and economic frameworks. Some nations are investing in renewable energy and disaster preparedness, while others are reinforcing military borders in anticipation of climate-induced migration waves. But the real question remains, will these strategies be enough? Or will political delays and corporate interests continue to push the world toward climate-driven chaos? What do you think? Should climate change be treated as a national security emergency? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more deep dives into global geopolitics.